Someone very close to you, someone you truly love, is around two people every day who think about you more than they should. And it's not admiration. It's not gratitude. It's not love. It's something they may not even be able to name themselves. But you've felt it. That tightness in your chest when you walk into the room. That strange silence that drops when you arrive. That look that says everything without saying a word. If something inside you shifted just now, take a deep breath, because what you're about to hear isn't paranoia. It's discernment. And discernment is one of the greatest gifts God can give to a chosen one. Before we continue, I need to be clear with you. This is a spiritual perspective, based on shared experiences of growth, faith, and observation. It does not replace therapy, professional counseling, or medical help when needed. If you're dealing with situations that affect your mental or emotional health, seek qualified support. Spirituality and professional care can walk together. They don't cancel each other out. Now, let's get to what really matters. Have you noticed how certain people can be physically far from you, yet still interfere in your life? They don't need to call you, look for you, or confront you directly. They have indirect access, and that access has a name. Someone you love. It could be your partner, a close family member, a friend of many years, someone who trusts those two people, someone who listens to what they say. And those two people, consciously or not, are planting seeds. Seeds of doubt, seeds of comparison, seeds of fear disguised as concern. Have you ever heard something like, "Wow, they changed so much after meeting you, didn't they?" It sounds innocent. It sounds like a casual observation. But the intention behind it isn't neutral. It's a subtle way of suggesting you're the problem. That before you, everything was better. That you brought change, and in that context, change is painted as something negative. Or then, do you really think that person is going to support you in what you want? Again, it sounds like concern, but it's poison wrapped in a gift. It plants the idea that you're not enough, that your purpose is too big, that you'll end up alone if you keep walking this path. And there's more. The jokes that cut, those repeated teasing comments about how you're different, intense, complicated, too much, jokes that, when you react, come with, relax, it's just a joke. But a joke that hurts every time isn't a joke. It's aggression disguised as humor. It's a way to diminish you without taking responsibility. And the person you love, caught in the middle of it, often doesn't notice. Because those two people are skilled. They know exactly how to speak, when to speak, and how to make it look like they're just being honest or protective. Now pay attention to this. Chosen ones aren't paranoid. Chosen ones are observant. There's a huge difference between creating imaginary enemies and recognizing real patterns. And you've seen the patterns. You've felt the energy shift when those people are around. You've noticed how, after certain hangouts, the person you love starts questioning you in a different way. It's not that they stopped loving you. It's that they're being influenced, and silent influence is one of the most powerful tools there is. Those two people watch your life with an intensity that isn't healthy. They follow your wins, but not with genuine joy. They comment on your choices, but always with a sharp edge of irony. They compliment you, yes, but there's always a but at the end. You're doing well, but aren't you pushing yourself too hard? That project is cool, but are you sure that's what God wants for you? You seem happy, but I feel like you're hiding something. Poisoned compliments. Words that sound like care, but are really seeds of insecurity. And you know what else? They encourage distance, not openly, but they suggest plans when you're not there. They scheduled things on days you'd be with the person you love. They create situations where you get left out, and when you bring it up, they make you look jealous, controlling, insecure. Oh, you don't trust them, so you're possessive like that. They flip the script. And the person you love, not seeing the manipulation, may start believing that story. But here's the truth. You need to engrave in your heart. You're not crazy. You're not overreacting. What you're feeling is real. And God is allowing you to see this right now, in this moment, because He's preparing you for a new level of discernment. He's teaching you how to protect your peace without becoming bitter. He's showing you that wisdom isn't reacting in anger, it's acting with spiritual intelligence. So what do? First, you don't confront. You don't fall into the trap of trying to prove who those people really are. Because if you do, you'll look exactly like what they want you to look like. Unstable, insecure, problematic. Chosen ones don't over-explain themselves. Chosen ones take their stance. You hold your boundaries. You don't need to be everywhere. You don't need to be part of every conversation. You don't need to win the approval of those two people. In fact, you shouldn't even want it. Second, you observe, without obsession, without toxic monitoring, but with healthy attention. You notice patterns. You see how certain conversations always end the same way. You recognize how certain people always show up in moments of tension, and you store that in your heart, not as a weapon, but as clarity, because clarity is power. Third, you strengthen your prayer life. You don't pray against those people. You pray for protection. You pray for revelation. You ask God to show the truth His way, in His time, and you trust that what's yours won't be stolen. If the person you love truly belongs in your purpose, no outside force will separate you. But if they don't, God will use this very situation to redirect you. And here's the turning point. You need to hear. God is revealing what was hidden. You're not discovering these things by accident. You're being guided, and it may hurt now, but it's a gift, because it's better to know the truth, no matter how hard, than to live in an illusion. You were called to walk in light, not in shadows. And light exposes, light reveals, light brings everything to the surface. Those two people may keep trying to plant doubts. They may keep trying to create distance. They may keep trying to shrink who you are, but they have no power over what God has already decided. They can't steal what has been sealed by divine purpose. And eventually, the mask falls. It always does. Because lies have short legs, and truth has wings. You also need to understand this. The person you love isn't your enemy. Often, they're being used without realizing it. They believe those two people have good intentions. And maybe those two people even think they do. Envy isn't always conscious. Fear isn't always intentional. But the impact is real. So instead of blaming the person you love, you protect them. You strengthen your connection. You don't step into arguments. You don't create rivalries. You simply remain firm in who you are. And do you know what happens when you do that? When you don't react in anger, don't over-justify yourself. Don't try to prove anything. But simply keep growing, shining, and walking in your purpose. The truth reveals itself. People around you start to see it. The person you love starts noticing the inconsistencies, the contradictions, the subtle attempts at control, and they begin to create distance from those two people. Not because you demanded it, but because they woke up. That's the power of staying in peace. That's the power of trusting God's timing. You don't need to fight battles that have already been won in the spiritual realm. You just need to keep walking, keep praying, keep being who God called you to be, and the rest will adjust. Now let's talk about something practical. How to protect your energy without isolating yourself. You don't need to cut everyone off. You don't need to become cold or closed, but you do need to be selective. Not every environment is healthy. Not every piece of advice is wise. Not every opinion deserves your attention. You have the right to choose who gets access to your life, your plans, your dreams. And if those two people don't show genuine love for you, they don't deserve that access. That isn't pride. That isn't arrogance. That is spiritual self-preservation. And it's biblical, because even Jesus had to step away from certain people. Even Jesus had to shake the dust off his sandals and move forward. You are not obligated to carry the weight of energies that don't build you up. And here's something you need to tattoo on your heart. What's yours is yours. No one can take it. No gossip, no envy, no sabotage attempt. If God gave it to you, He will sustain it. If He promised it, He will fulfill it. And if He chose you, you will reach where you're meant to go, no matter how many people try to delay you. So breathe. You're not alone in this. Thousands of people are going through the exact same thing right now, feeling the same pressure, noticing the same signs, and they're all learning the same lesson. Discernment is not distrust. It's wisdom. It's protection. It's a gift from God for those who are ready to walk at another level. And that level requires maturity. It requires that you don't go around accusing everyone. It requires that you don't turn this into paranoia. But it also requires that you don't ignore what your spirit is screaming. There is balance. And you are capable of finding that balance, because you are chosen. And chosen ones don't break. They're shaped. They grow. They learn. And they win. The truth is coming to the surface. The masks are falling. And you're going to be okay. Better than okay. You're going to come out of this stronger, wiser, more aligned with your purpose. Because this isn't a battle for you to lose. It's a lesson for you to learn. And you're learning it. Every day, every prayer, every choice of peace over conflict. You're growing. And no one can take that from you. If this message touched your heart, if you felt it was exactly what you needed to hear today, leave your like down below. Subscribe to the channel to receive more content like this about purpose, discernment, and spiritual growth. And in the comments, write just one word: discernment. Just that. So I know you understood. So I know you're awake. So I know you're not walking in the dark anymore. The light has arrived, and you're ready to walk in it.